Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome to the Gaming 4. So today, before I get into the Unturned Map Editor tutorial, I just want to thank you guys for all the subscribers and the support that you guys have been giving us, and I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, because technically, it's 1 o'clock in the morning right now, Christmas Eve, so technically it is Christmas. But anyway, so this Unturned Map Editor tutorial is focusing on how to turn your map into a horde map. Okay guys, so there's the map that we're going to be using. Yes, it's not much of a map, it's one building, and there's no scenery or anything, but it'll work for what we need it to. So one of the first things that you need to be thinking about as you're building the map is what types of things can the player purchase as they are playing the game. So to get into the purchases, you actually have to go to Environment, Nodes, and then down here, they recently added this. Bottom left-hand corner, there's Location, Safe Zone, and Purchase, and we'll actually be going over Safe Zone as well. So right now we're just going to work with purchase. This is probably one of the most complicated things. Still not very complicated, but pretty much how you do it, you select purchase and you place down your purchase bubble, we can call it. And so pretty much you're going to want to adjust the radius, and this bubble actually represents the zone where if the player's feet is within this zone, and yes, it is feet. So per se, if I put one up here, the player, if they just walk into it, like with their head, they still won't be able to buy stuff. So it's feet only. So that's good to know. So pretty much, player walks in here. We need an ID for what we want to sell. I happen to know that 99 is an ID for the Cobra. And then we need a cost for that. And to put it into perspective, I think every time you shoot a zombie, you get $5. And every time you kill them, I think it's something like 70 to 90, something around that area. I'm not quite sure. We can test that once we test this map at the end. So I'm just going to put the cost for this as, decent price. We'll put it at 1,000. Something that's doable. And there we go. There's our first purchase. And when they're green, it's not selected. The ones that are red are selected. So it confused me a little bit when I first got into that. So the second thing in this the nodes area is the safe zone. So pretty much, safe zone is an area where you can't be killed by zombies. Now, we can change the radius of this safe zone. We can make it freaking huge. I mean, we could probably... I think we can probably make it so it almost covers like the entire world. I mean, if you want to do that, I mean, whatever floats your boat. You can make a crazy huge safe zone. But besides that, the zombies can enter this area. They will hit you, but it won't do any damage. Another thing is you can't shoot or use any type of weapons or punch or anything in this area. In fact, you can't even switch weapons. So, something that was happening while I was testing my new horde map is that I was actually scoping in using sights on a zombie, and you're slower when you do that, just 'cause that's just what happens. And I accidentally backed up into the safe zone. So the problem was I couldn't shoot, and I couldn't get out of the scoped mode. So I was slower in that area. So that's just a warning. It's possibly a bit of a bug that you can't do that at this point, but maybe it'll get fixed sometime. And same thing as the purchases. When it's not selected, it is green. So that pretty much does it for the nodes. So another thing that you really want to make sure you have is spawns, different types of spawns. Now you want to definitely make sure you've got a player spawn. It's just a basic thing when you're making the map. You're going to want to make sure you got one of these. So we'll just put a player spawn there. We also want to make sure you've got zombie spawns. And I covered zombie spawns earlier on in the Unturned Map Editor series. So go check that out. They work exactly the same as they do normally in the horde mode. So I'll just put horde zombies. Also, good thing to note is that mega zombies do spawn in horde mode. So if you want to have mega zombies, they do spawn. The one thing about them though is that they have the same health as normal zombies, because health is actually controlled by what wave you are on. But I think you can also change it here, like the health and the damage and stuff. But the health and the damage is also incremented as the levels get harder and harder. The waves get harder and harder. So okay, so we got some zombie spawns. Mega zombie spawns are very rare. Also, they don't spawn very often. So I'll just make a mega spawn, and I'll add that over here as well. Okay, so then we got the player and the zombie spawns. Next thing you need to make sure you have is navigation. Just like normal, if you don't have navigation, the zombies won't be able to spawn in. So yes, make sure you have the navigation. Okay, so there we got the navigation. Besides the navigation, there's actually a couple other things that maybe you should consider adding. So, of course, this horde mode is based off of Call of Duty Zombies. That's no question to anybody. We all notice that, and because of this, you know, the game is modeled very much like that. So, like, you got to kill all the zombies before you can move on to the next wave, or you know, the zombies can pretty much find you wherever you are. But there are actually some bugs when it comes to that. So pretty much the problem I've found is that what happens with the horde map is that it's always a full moon. And you know, it's beneficial. The health and the damage of the zombies is tweaked, so it's not like a normal full moon where they do like double damage. But the vision range of the zombies is increased greatly increased, and their eyes glows, which is amazing because it makes it look like, you know, the Call of Duty Zombies. But the problem with that is, if you're on a normal small map like this, if you want to make the entire map into a horde mode, which you definitely could, it'd be freaking huge, but you could do that. But the problem with that is, during the full moon, the zombies do actually have a vision length that past that you can't be seen. So actually, a problem I ran into with one of my my new map, the Kill More Zombies, is you actually do have to move around the map to get the zombies to find you, because the map is too big to be like an effective horde map where you can sit in one spot and they'll all find you. So I just thought, you know, I'd mention that. That is one problem with this. So when you're making your map, make it small enough. You might have to test this, but make it small enough so that, you know, wherever you're at, the zombies can see you from any point in the map. Or, I mean, it's actually kind of beneficial in some ways in that players can't camp. They actually are forced to move around to find all the zombies, to continue the waves, to get points and stuff. So, you know, it can work either way, but that's just another consideration. Okay, so another good thing to have in your maps is Easter eggs. Now, these could come in the forms of, like, hidden purchases. The problem with these purchases is you can't really tell that they're there. There's no indication that they're there. So you could do Easter eggs. You could hide them. You know, you could have like a secret one inside the building that, you know, that you didn't know about, or you know, you could climb a ladder, get on top of the building, and there could be a purchase there. But you know, definitely add Easter eggs. You know, you could have hidden parts of the map, something like that. Just Easter eggs will make it a lot funner to play your map. Talking about having it hard to find these purchases, I've actually come up with a system to make it pretty easy to find them. So what I do is I use this newspaper object. Now technically it's a see-through object, it doesn't really exist, but what I do is I put one of those for every purchase I have on my map. So pretty much you're walking around, you're like, oh, newspaper on the wall. That must mean there's a purchase. And yes, that's the way I do it. I have my newspapers everywhere there's a purchase. And another thing to consider when you're doing these purchases is that you need to make sure you have an ammo buy as well. So I'm only going to have one Cobra spawn, but I should also have a Cobra box or a Cobra clip, because the one other difference from Call of Duty Zombies in like this horde mode is that in Call of Duty Zombies you got one spawn for the gun and the ammo. In this you have to have two spawns, one for the gun and then one for the ammo. Otherwise you're just going to keep on buying guns and it'll clutter your inventory and it just won't be very great. So besides that, one other thing that you can do to customize your map is you actually can change the lighting. Now, because it's horde mode is configured a certain way, it's always going to be the midnight. Always midnight. So if you change like what it looks like at dawn, you won't see a difference because the time never changes. It's stuck at midnight. But I mean, what you could do is you could like change the colors of light. You know, you could make it a lot brighter in the map. You could add colored fog. You could actually change the sky color so that it seems like it's the middle of the day, just with like the full moon out all the time. So I mean, you could do that. That could be pretty cool. But you know, I would just suggest try to do something original with that. That pretty much covers all the basics. If you implement all those things, I mean, I think you'll come out with a pretty solid horde mode map. So yeah, now it's time to test it. So I'm going to save, go into the map, and we shall play this thing. And I'm going to play it on normal. I don't think it really changes much about the gameplay, but you know. Okay, so obviously as you can see, there's a lot of zombies spawning. Pretty much I think how it works is it picks random spawns out of all the ones that have been placed. Ooh, that's actually really bad. That's gonna kill me. So one problem with probably the way I've made this map is that I haven't provided any way for the player to heal himself. Now normally you would heal pretty slowly, but in this case I'm going to die because I don't have any sort of bandages available. So as you can probably not see because I'm dying. Oh dang, that's hard. Okay. Another thing about the maps is, as you will see, is that when you die you spawn back in. So you pretty much have unlimited tries. The zombies stay, all the items stay. You just start back with the pistol again. So yeah, it could be hard to recover a game. At a certain point it may not be worth it. But you know, since it's wave 2, it's definitely worth it. And actually, let's experiment with this lasty. So as you can see, as I hit him, dang, I usually play this on easy. On normal, they make you bleed all the time. So every time I hit him, I get 10, and then every time I kill him, I get 60. The other thing that you might notice is that you do spawn in with some of the money you died with. I've noticed that it's not as much though. Okay, so we got a Cobra here. This is actually something I just found out. So if you look in my inventory, there is no Cobra ammo. Just found this out. It's crazy. Every time I do one of these tutorials, I find something else out. So if I try to buy the Cobra again, you'd think, okay, makes sense that, you know, just give him another Cobra. Because, I mean, it took my money. But actually what it did is it actually bought me some ammo. So I guess that is a thing. The problem with that is that the ammo isn't as expensive as the regular gun is. So it's not really worth it. But, you know, I guess you could just make the guns cheaper because, you know, they'll have to buy ammo for the same price. Something like that. Okay. And every time, as you can see, more and more spawns. So, you know, it'll get pretty consistently harder and harder. And they do more damage each time. And they have more health each time. So, definitely a good challenge for those of you who are willing to take it on. So yeah. Besides that, I'm constantly saying that there is actually one more item that you can use that is not specifically for horde mode, but that could be pretty useful. It's the safe zone radiator. Now, I don't know if there's available inside of survival yet, but you can definitely add it to horde mode, because what it does is it works the same way as a generator, except it needs to be powered by a generator. And what it does is it nullifies any zombie spawns within the radius, and the radius is exactly the same as a generator. It also nullifies any item spawns and any car spawns, so that's just another thing to be aware of. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Once again, have a great Christmas. It's pretty awesome that we finally got in here. Sorry I haven't been posting recently. I've just been having one busy thing happening and then another, so I've had like finals and then traveling back home, and then now that I'm at home, like our parents are just doing like home renovation stuff and stuff, and it's just I've just been really busy. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.